Hey guys, Kenny Bonus here with Bonus Accounting, and today on Spicy Tax Tips, we're going to be running the gauntlet, the Spice Challenge, with none other than Jordan Grady. He's the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce. He's involved in many organizations, and he's a recipient of the Distinguished Service Award in Butler County. So I'm pleased to welcome you, Jordan. What's going through your head right now?
Well, my middle name is actually Nervous, so no, I'm excited. Thanks for having me. I thought this was a really cool idea you guys had, and I know I pestered you guys to be a guest, so I got my wish. So
Definitely.
I'm going to face my fears today.
So we got to give a shout out first to Sean over at Hot Ones. We saw what he's doing over there and interviewing celebrities, and we figured we'd do our own little spin on it in Butler and interview our local celebrities. So we went on to heatiness.com and we got the season 16 Hot Ones hot sauces. So you have that right here in front of you, all 10 sauces from season 16, what's going on right now. Santa brought this, put them all in my shoes, St. Nick, it was awesome, so we're ready with this stuff. Everybody, before we get into this, hit subscribe on our Bonus Accounting channel. We're not always doing spicy tax tips, we have a lot of other information coming through. You're going to find this to be very informative as well, so hit subscribe, like, comment below, and we're happy that you're here watching us. So today we're going to be talking about the Educational Improvement Tax Credit. That is a mouthful right there. Has an acronym, EITC. Jordan is going to be walking us through it. We got 10 questions for 10 sauces, so we're going to try to start out with some more complex stuff at the beginning while we're still alive and kicking. And then as we get to the harder ones, we'll start throwing some softballs. So
Thank God.
yeah, we got our trusty milk in front of us. I got my soy milk, and then Jordan's got 2% milk. We got some other waters and pop off on the side, so we're gonna be well hydrated. But I have no clue what we're getting into here. All right, so Jordan, while we're fresh, let's dig into this first one, and then I'll ask the first question. So,
Just to clarify,
yeah.
This is number one, right?
This is number one.
Okay.
That's number one. Cheers.
Cheers. I can handle this one.
Not too bad. It's a 1700 Scoville. Not bad at all.
Not bad.
It's called the Classic. It's Hot Ones Blue labeled. So yeah, start off with something good. This way we can actually talk and make sense while we're having a conversation. All right. So while we're both fresh, can you tell us about the Educational Improvement Tax Credit and anything that we might need to know about it? Kind of like a nice summary synopsis on it.
Well, under the Chamber of Commerce, we have a 501c3 foundation. I'd say this is either our third or fourth year participating in this particular tax credit program. It was brought to our attention by one of our corporate backers, Next Tier Bank, and they suggested that we apply for this based on one of the programs we run, which is the Youth Leadership Program. This is before I was even with the Chamber. But now I'm into year 2 of filling out the renewal process and working with some other organizations that take advantage of the specific tax credit. So I'm in no means an expert of it, but I'm starting to dabble and understand a little bit more what it is.
Definitely.
On my side, which would be the recipient of funds, we have to have programming that enhances educational opportunities that may not be provided in a public school setting. So the programs we run have to be tailored directly to the public school districts that serve, in our case, Butler County, so the 7 school districts.
Nice.
And what our program kind of encompasses is a general exposure of what's available in Butler if you choose to, well, Butler County as a whole, if you choose to stay here after your education journey might be finished.
Nice.
We also mix in a lot of leadership development initiatives in the program, thus we get the name the Butler County Youth Leadership Program. On the business side, okay, so what is the EITC program? I call it a program, these tax credits, and
exactly.
Why would someone want to be a part of it? Well, basically, you're going to directly reduce your state tax bill at the end of the year. Now, this is more bonus accounting side, but You can get up to $750,000 worth of contributions, and you can reduce your state tax bill by 75%. But if you commit for the same amount to the same organization for 2 years in a row, you can actually get a 90% reduction up to that amount of your state tax bill. So it becomes obviously it's a very incentivized thing, and I would imagine the state limits how many what businesses they accept that can participate in this program, and it's probably put together by an actuary and all types of people who are much smarter than me. But that's kind of it on a nutshell from my side, and from the business side if they were trying to apply to get into it.
Yeah, from what I understand too is there's a certain amount of money available for tax credits, and then once that runs out, that particular tax credit for this EITC program would then be over. So it seems like, hey, get it now while you can, and then if it runs out, then after that it's all finished. So all right, you ready to jump into that next one?
I guess.
All right. So number 2, here we go. This one is Yellowbird Bliss and Vinegar, making my mouth water already. 6,200 Scoville. I heard some good things about it. And it is good.
It is good.
It's really good.
It kicks at the end. Wow.
I was saying the first 5 look like you can enjoy this regularly. The last 5, it looks like you're just doing it just to torture yourself, but this is awesome.
Don't rub your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Do not rub your eyes. I'm saying it now. We didn't sign any waivers. So, you started to tell me a little bit about the charitable organizations that can benefit from this. I know that there are 3 different types of charitable organizations that can benefit from it. Are you familiar with any of those, and which one that the chamber falls under?
So the Chamber Foundation falls under the Education Improvement Organization based on the programming we offer.
Yep.
The third option, I am really not familiar with it. This is actually and it may have been on past applications. This is actually the first year I saw it. It's the Innovative Education Opportunities. I think that might be what it is. And basically it's something that's totally out of the scope of what a child might receive in a public education setting, providing something that bridges the gap between traditional education and maybe real life experiences.
Nice.
I don't know if that's brand new. I've never seen it. This is my second year doing the application. I do not recall that being an option last year, so I'm going to assume that this is new this year. And it's very intriguing because I feel as if the program we operate out of the chamber actually does directly fall into that one as opposed to the Educational Improvement Organization.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to learn more about what the innovative educational piece is.
Yeah.
The only thing I know for sure is it's something that's definitely out of the scope of what you receive in your current education setting.
That makes sense.
And then the primary organizations that take advantage of this tax credit are your scholarship organizations. You see that at the foundation levels, colleges and high schools. It seems like every school district that I know of here, plus at least one of the colleges that is in Butler County, they are very active with EITC through their scholarship organizations. And that's exactly what you think it is. You give scholarships out to students to continue their education.
Exactly.
And I actually think there's actually a bit more incentive to be a scholarship organization, and if you give to a scholarship organization versus the other two. Not sure off the top of my head because that's really not my world, but that's kind of my understanding.
That's awesome. Yeah, and from what I gather too, it's like pre-K organizations can get 100% of this credit. So dollar for dollar, you contribute $5,000, you get a $5,000 credit. Then the other organizations, you had referred to it earlier, but if you commit to 1 year, it's 75% of your contribution. If you commit to 2 years, it's 90% of your contribution.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome too. If you think about it, you really get to choose where your tax dollars are going for impacting the community.
Yeah, I think it's a great program, and I think it actually is. The program itself is like relatively new.
Yeah.
And when you look at some of the contributions being made here locally, you do catch whiff of some of the monies that go back, and some of the companies give very large contributions to benefit education for children. So it's a powerful program that seems to be working well both at the state level and the local levels that are participating in these givings.
Yeah, and that's the best part about this too. It's like these are educational programs, and it's going to the youth that live here in Pennsylvania. So you can't get better than that.
Right.
Supporting that. So,
Yeah.
very cool. I think we're ready for a third wing here. All right, diving into the third one here. This is Hoff and Pepper's hot sauce. It has a Scoville rating of 14,500. I don't always do 14,500 Scoville, so this is a bit spicy. Enjoy.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that is nice. Tastes good.
It's definitely a little hotter, more peppery,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a good taste, actually.
It's delicious, really it is. And I'm a vegan, so this is
Not today.
exactly. Told me a little bit about the Chambers Foundation. Can you go a little bit more in depth about that? It's the youth leadership class and some of the things that take place in youth leadership.
The Chamber is a 501c6 organization. The foundation was started nearly 25 or maybe even, I guess, 25 years ago. And it was started for the main reason is Leadership Butler County was a standalone organization ran by somebody else. They approached the Chamber way back and asked the Chamber to take the program over, and at the time the board of directors thought that it should be ran under an organization that is charitable or recognized as charitable by the IRS.
Yep.
So the leadership program is now in its 26th class. This class that's just starting is in its 20. This is the 26th leadership class to go through the chamber. Now, of course, it was ran through someone else.
Yeah.
So the class of, I want to say 2017. Each year the class picks a big project that they try to do in the community.
Yeah.
The 2017 class chose to create a spin-off leadership program tailored around students
Oh yeah.
in Butler County. Fast forward 1 year after they created the program, that's when they were approached next year about this tax credit opportunity and how this program may be a good fit. We worked with Sandra Curry at Alliance for Nonprofits. She filled out the initial application.
Yep.
She walked me through, actually you helped a little bit too, last year's renewal application. Now this year I feel like I got my big boy pants on and
Yeah.
doing it on my own.
You know how to do it.
Although I would love if Bonus Accounting wanted to do it instead. But so what is the Youth Leadership Program? Prior to COVID, it was a year-long experience. We've condensed the last 2 years to form a leadership week. So I'll talk a little bit about the year-long program. They go 4 or 5 Fridays throughout the school year. We work it out with the school districts so that it's an excused absence for the student.
Yep.
They work on leadership development, diversity training, team building skills. That's all on the leadership side. But the other side, which kind of separates the program and makes us eligible for an education improvement organization, is we're creating exposure to some of the large scale operations that are available here in Butler County if you choose to keep your roots here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Throughout the year, under a normal year, they'll tour the county government center and hear from some of the elected officials of the county to see how local government works. They tour huge manufacturing operations like United Plate Glass, Penn United, MSA. They get to see the news center down in Cranberry and see how the Penguins are working their way up into that area.
That's awesome.
The program is it's a competitive program to get into. Each year we take about 30 students from 7 school districts.
Wow.
They have to apply. There's an essay they have to write, and what we try to do is most colleges require an essay of some sort.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that the essay that they write for the youth leadership application will be able to translate for them in their college application, whether they get accepted into the program or not. We
awesome.
try to accept every student we can. Sometimes we can't do that based on demand.
Yeah.
COVID has made us change the program a bit, so instead of meeting throughout the year, and the reason is different school districts have different policies in place right now, and it was very hard to try to coordinate all of that
Makes sense.
in the year-long session.
Yeah.
So last June and then this June coming up, we have a leadership week where they'll be at Slipper Rock for one of the days doing their leadership and development classes and training out at their center that they have.
Nice.
And then they'll come back to BC3 where they'll learn public speaking skills, diversity training, team building exercises. And then instead of having the tours that they normally would have, we'll bring some of those executives or owners in to speak to the youth leadership class about the opportunities that are available and their day-to-day operations, which, you know, happen to be very interesting when you sit down. We see it in person, that's one thing, but a lot of these organizations have gotten good at putting things onto video or in digital means to show the students these cool things are happening right here. So that's the program. That's kind of the history of the program. We do hope that in 2022 we'll be able to go back to a normal, I guess 2023 we'll be able to go back to a normal youth leadership program where they get the hands-on experience of seeing some of the places.
Definitely. I've seen some of the youth leadership classes, and it seems like everybody's all attentive. I've spoken at some of them in the past too, and it's just awesome because of their exposure to these amazing organizations at such a young age. I could have only wished to have been seeing what the elected officials were doing or get up to Slipper Rock when I was in high school. So
yeah, that's right. You're on the entrepreneur panel. We always have a panel in one of the sessions, and we had this last summer at BC3 of entrepreneurs who were born here and they chose to stay here. And they built their, obviously we're sitting in one of the, you chose to, your roots were here and you chose to plant them here. So
definitely.
It's really good to give students an example of it's doable, you can do it. So,
it's fun to give back like that too, and just to be able to, hey, maybe you said one thing that inspires somebody and changes the course of their life. And some of the things that they do. So, awesome. Cool. Thanks for explaining that. We're going after it. It's Los Calientes Verde. 36,000 Scoville, so I do not know what I'm getting into. I apologize in advance, but if you need your milk, go for it. You got your napkin? All right. Cheers. I think it's gonna come, but this is delicious, actually.
Yeah, there's like a sweet taste to it too. It's really good. It's hot, don't get me wrong.
So I was doing a little bit of research in prep for today about the EITC credit, and I was like, well, let's see how easy it is to get info on this and figure out how to apply for it as a business owner. And I simply Googled educational improvement tax credit, brought me to the first link. I clicked that link and it gave me all the guides I would need to know. Like the first guide is like an overview and who's eligible and who qualifies. The second guide was actually to walk me through step by step for how to apply for that tax credit. And within 45 minutes, I was ready to get a tax credit for my business. So instead of paying my money to the state of Pennsylvania, I was able to pay my money towards an organization that I feel passionate about and something that I would want to support. So just within 45 minutes of following that link right here. So I figure if anybody wants to even watch this YouTube video, just know where to go to get that. We'll pop the link in below and you can follow along with that. But I'm not sure if you knew how easy it was as a business to apply for it.
I thought it was going to be much more difficult from the business standpoint. I remember our initial application, and each year we have to chase down 7 support letters from the school districts, 2 from the superintendent saying that they endorse the program. So it's not overly tedious, but tedious nonetheless. So it's very interesting to see it's easy on your end. But I think that's like the state of Pennsylvania is committed to education of the youth. And that this program obviously shows that, and ease of applying is probably very good.
Definitely. It saves your application too, so if you exit out of it, all is not lost. You can come back to it later, so that's really cool. And you got to figure, if you want to receive money, then it's going to be a little more rigorous, but if you want to give the money, then they try to make it as easy as possible.
Right.
I saw long lists of everybody that's able to receive funds as well. I saw New Visions right on there for the chamber. I was able to just do a control F and find anything in Butler. So Butler did have a presence in most of those categories. So it's awesome to see that. And I'd encourage anybody to send money towards New Visions on that too, especially if they believe in youth leadership. So
Thanks for the plug there.
yeah, revolutionary. 57,000 Scoville. I can't believe it.
Jeez.
That's a lot right there, because it's not every day you like chow down on a 57,000 Scoville pepper. So I think this is where it starts to get a little bit crazy. And then also,
And the camera guy's smiling and laughing at us. How about
they
it?
are, yeah, they're just enjoying it. We haven't touched our milk. Not that it makes us more men, but yeah, it's let's do it. Number 5. And this is from Pennsylvania.
Definitely hotter.
Yep, I'm seeing it in the crevices. This is bringing flashbacks from previous Spicy Tax Tips episodes.
This is very Tabasco-y, but like 10 times worse than Tabasco-y. Doesn't have bad flavor, but you can tell the heat's
Corn.
kicked up a bit.
And it's like wedged into all the little crevices of the chicken wing, so I'll try to keep it together.
Good, because I might not be able to.
I'm gonna give you softballs from here on out.
Yep, I'm feeling it.
It's kicking, that's nice. The gears are going. Let's jump into it. So, one of the things I love about the EITC credit is because, one, it helps businesses out because businesses are able to reduce the taxes they pay. Another one is it really helps with like relationships with these organizations within the community. Next Tier Bank being one of the big ones. That relationship between Next Tier and the Chamber, they're being able to win Next Tier by saving on tax credits towards the state, and then the Chamber's able to win by being able to provide these awesome opportunities for youth leadership programs like that. And another part that I really like too is that these businesses, they really get to fund something that they truly believe in. So I think that's the biggest part of this, is that the businesses truly believe in it. You don't necessarily want to just throw your tax dollars at Harrisburg and just hope that they put it towards something that affects our community.
Right.
A lot of that money might go to other parts of the state. So to know that that money can be directly infused into our county, our community, and organizations with people and children that we know of, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And now, think long term here. You make these investments in these educational programs. These might be your future employees. So in theory, you're empowering more of a learning environment for
Absolutely.
maybe it's the future CEO of the company. Who knows?
Absolutely.
So it's nice that they get to support the organizations they're passionate about. And I think in a perfect world, and it probably does happen, those students end up being the future workforce of the area.
Absolutely.
And it sets up a brighter future really for all.
Yeah, it really does, and you can see that they're trying to get to kids that are young too, the pre-K, for getting 100% credit on that. That's great to see too, because you know that that's where kids are learning the most. They're like sponges, and they're just constantly learning, and to foster that growth, this type of program is awesome. I can't speak enough to it.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, thanks for watching part 1 of the Spicy Tax Tips. Now stick around for part 2.